Can you hear me? I'm just going to talk loud.
Okay. Joe, we could put the microphone in the stand and put it near your face.
If you want to help me do that. Okay. Selecting, you can see that my cursor looks like an arrow. That means I'm in selection mode. Just clicking on an object selects it. Again, kind of a simple concept. When I want to move something, I always select my anchor first. That is the item that doesn't move. So let's say I want to move these objects underneath the triangle, okay? I select my triangle first, that's my anchor, and then I'm going to use my control key and I'm going to select the other objects I want to move in relation to that. Clicking on my alignments toolbar here, I can then hit one button here that will vertically line everything up. Okay, pretty simple for most everyone. If not, I will go over them again too, okay? If you want to select multiple objects, you can select your anchor first, and then holding the control key down, I can actually click and drag to select these objects. And when I let go, I've got all three selected, and I can line it up again. Here's a simple rule, but if you don't know it, you might get a little frustrated when you're selecting things. If I'm drawing a selection box, if I want to select that rectangle there, even if I have like just a fine part of that rectangle is not in my selection box, I don't select it. I have to click and drag and get the entire object in that box. Okay? Let's say you've got some items that are kind of close to each other. I'll just kind of put these on top of each other. Let's say I want to select that. Rectangle and circle, but not the triangle. I can do this simply by clicking and dragging a selection box and getting everything in it except for part of the triangle. As long as I leave part of the triangle out there, look at that, I'll leave just a little tip out there. I select everything but the triangle. Okay? And again, this is just the type of stuff that when you're working in the software, you can go faster, basically. It's all about speed. It's all about getting turns. Okay? All right. Again, we're going to, like I said, we're going to start with some of the basics here. Move these out of the way. And okay, so how does the alignment toolbar work? Again, we're grabbing the anchor first. The anchor is the item that doesn't move, okay? We're always aligning one object to another. You cannot just select something and then use your toolbars to do much of anything with it, because you have to have something in relation to it to line up to, okay? And then we can also actually evenly space items with that tool as well. So let's say we've got, let me just overlap them a little bit. All right, if I want to line everything up under the triangle again, I select the triangle first. That's my anchor. Holding the control key down, I'm going to draw a selection box around the remaining. And then using my alignment toolbar, I can line them up vertically. And there's also a little button in here that allows me to space it evenly too. If I click that, whoops, anchor first. Don't hold the shift key down. Okay. Line them up vertically, and then this will evenly space the items. So let's say you're making a, I don't know, maybe you're making a plaque for a local Little League team or something like that. They won their championship, and you want to put a number of names on the plaque, and that can take a little while. You're like typing the names, you're trying to move things around. Use your alignment tools to quickly line them all up to the left, and then evenly space the names out, and you're golden. Couple of half head nods. Good? Got a couple of thumbs up, all right. By the way, throughout these 2 days, my colleague Alex is available if you want to step aside and talk to anyone about any specific problems, issues, or opportunities that you have where you need a little bit of help. We'll be happy to assist, okay? We can do that on like a one-on-one basis. We've got a laser set up in another room. Okay, we're going to talk about the F2 button next. And I saw that there was a number of people that had not actually heard of the F2 button. Let me show you how that works. The F2 button is something used to precisely resize or rotate an object. Let me just use this rectangle as an example. To use the F2 button, you have to be in the process of changing your object. If I am resizing this rectangle, see how I grab the corner and I start resizing it? While doing that, if I hit the F2 button, I get a menu that allows me to put in the exact size of that object that I want. So Joe, why do we need this? Well, let's say you're a number of stores out there, you've got vector trays, you're cutting out magnets, things like that. You know your material is 12 inches long, and you want to maximize the number of items that you can get on that material. You may want to use this tool to precisely define the size of your magnet or name tags or what have you, so you can fit them all in your material and get the most out of it. This scaling menu here, if I wanted this exactly 6 inches wide, I could type in 6 there. If I want it to keep that same ratio, I just keep that checkbox there. But if I want it 6 by 3, I can do that. There we go. 6 by 3, hit OK. And now my rectangle is 6 inches by 3 inches wide. Or I'm sorry, 6 inches wide by 3 inches tall. If I want to rotate it precisely, I'll start to rotate it, hit my F2 button, and now I can say I want to rotate at 45 degrees. And that's precisely 45 degrees. Again, these are shortcuts. They're also, it's more precise. And the quicker you can do this, of course, the quicker you can alter and change designs. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about here. Any questions on the F2? Good?
Joe,
yes.
Are all these videos that we could actually watch on?
Yes, I actually have some tutorial videos,
right.
And I'll go over that at the end. I've got some tools for you to use in the future. And Jeff is actually filming this, and I'm sorry I'm rusty. I'll do better on the logo seminar later. I'll get into the groove. But next, what we're going to talk about is grouping and ungrouping. And I saw a lot of hands pop up that you understood the grouping and ungrouping. This is, it can also be used to describe breaking things apart. If you work with graphics, you can kind of break up the graphics and take out parts of it. Let me show you some examples on how to use the grouping button. All right, let's back this up just a little bit. And let's say I want to get this directly between a couple of objects. So I've got the triangle and the circle out here, and I want to get this object in between it. Okay? Think of maybe you've got a name tag, right? And on each edge of the name tag you've got a little design, and you want to center the name in the middle of that design. Or maybe you've got a square plaque and you want to put in each corner the same design. Okay? You're going to use your grouping and ungrouping buttons to accomplish this. First off, I want to make sure my triangle and circle are directly across from each other. So I'm going to line those up. And having those lined up across from each other, I'm going to group them to make them one object. So if I hit the group button over here, and now I select on one or the other, they're both selected. That means they're one object now. If I want to line this up into the center of those two, it's actually just lining it up in the center of that first object. So I'm going to select my what first? Anchor. Okay. Select my anchor, hold the control key down, and now I'm going to center that rectangle to that object. And when I hit the center button, it puts it right in between. Does that make sense? Alex is available. So we can go over some of those things in more detail. Okay, let me show you a couple more examples of where you're going to use this. Okay. Up back here. Okay, I'm going to show you how, when you're creating a magnet, how to line that up real quickly. And then also I'm going to go over lining up on an existing Dunn file. So here's my magnet, and hold your comments on my design until later. It's not the most beautiful magnet in the world, but this is what I'm going to work with here, okay? So I've drawn an outline, okay? And I've got these pieces that need to go in there, but we need to make sure that they're lined up okay, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these three items up to each other, and then I'll center it over the magnet. I'm going to use some of the same tools a couple times over here.